Six Sages Gaming is brought to you by GamersGauntlet.net. Check them out for all your single, sealed product, and playmats.
Hey guys, welcome to another Six Sages Gaming Deck Spotlight. Today I have for you the big red observer list that a lot of people have been asking for. I know a lot of people are brewing different things with it. And this is my more mid-rangey Volga combo shenanigans, greed.deck, whatever you want to call it. I might put greed.deck in the description now. So it's your traditional observer list with a few A4 cards we got, like the 5-drop LSRs is great, which I'll get into. But a lot of it, you know, the main core is going to stay the same. So first we'll talk about the ruler, then we'll talk about the stone base, and then get into the main deck itself. Alright, so up first we have the observer, judgment cost of basically what should say 2 fire because you're going to get the cost reduced. And then the text says you can pay 1 less for each card removed from your area zone. When it comes into play, you get an addition that we're not playing, but the important part about this is, you know, the whole point of the deck is you're building up cards to get them removed from game zone, and his God Art deals 100 damage per card in that area. So you can build up the board. You're having these aggressive resonators that become 1,000, or 800 or bigger, and you can flip them, play the God Art, and make sure that you guys are going to swing through uncontested. If they have some quick cast thing, sure, but otherwise it's just for helping clear the way. And of course, all your resonators getting swiftness, target attack, and first strike is also relevant. And a 10/10 body is just great otherwise. Going to the stone base, 2 fire stones. Again, all our stones need to tap for fire, so that's all I had left for basics. 4 Brutal Conqueror's Memoria. It produces fire, and it's just strictly better than a basic stone, so you might as well run it. The 100 damage is probably not going to be relevant out of 99 games out of 100, but hey, that 1 out of 100 times might, you know, get you there and help you win the game. And then lastly, the more staple stone for the deck is the 4 Disaster's Memoria. This allows you to remove cards from the top of your deck to the exiled area, or remove from game zone, and accelerates the deck's plan. And so when you're trying to hit 10 cards to turn on your keepers, per se, that's going to be one of the better ways to do it. Going into his Regalia, play 4 Ifrit class. Absolutely necessary in the deck, the ability to, you know, when we're blindly putting cards into the remove from game area, we want to have some way to get them back. And for when you play this card, it lets you remove a card and then you can pay 2 fire to get cards back. So when you're looking for combo pieces or specific cards that are going to help you win the game, this is definitely a great card to have. Going into our 1-drops, 2 Memory of Disappearance, mostly just because I like to have another card that lets us get something back from your remove from game zone. It's, you know, Ifrits should be your main source, but having 2 more cards in there is great. No, it is chance speed, so that's a little bit awkward, but it can still help. 4 Emissaries. This is great for just, you know, being a turn 1 play where we can start removing things from the top of our deck every turn. We can start pinging things. And you'll see that it combos pretty well with either Volga or with Rook Egg, and if we need a banish outlet. Speaking of which, we play 4 Rook Eggs, getting to 2-drop any fire resonator, which this basically says when this dies, search your deck for a card, or a resonator, I should specify. So this lets us find the Volga, it lets us find another keeper of the future, it lets us find it's essentially whatever we need, and it's really great at finding the 5-drop Allosaurus as well. We have 4 Keeper of the Present. I know this isn't like the most exciting body, you know, it's just a 1/1, it doesn't really do much, but it allows you to filter your hand, so you discard 1, draw 1. There's going to be certain times where you just have a dead card in your hand, like if you see multiple emissaries. Any emissary after the first, or after the second one, I guess I should say, is almost always going to be a discard, or you don't want it in your hand. So this is a great card to help filter that out, or if there's some cards that you just want to see in your remove from game zone, this is another way to get them there while you can still draw extra cards. Then 4 Torching the Timeline. Again, this card goes with Volga, which you'll see next. Basically what this does is, you know, in the mid to late game, we're going to have 10 plus cards in our remove from game zone, so it's going to be able to do 1,000 damage. If the game's really going late, it's not uncommon to see upwards of 20 cards in your remove from game zone. So this is going to be, you know, 2,000 damage is something for 1 red. And why I'm calling this greedy.deck is we play 3 Volga. Now again, keep in mind we do play 4 Ifrit Glass and 2 Memory of Disappearance to get him back, so we have multiple ways to, if he gets exiled, you can get him back that way, or if he goes to the graveyard, you need to get him to exile, you can exile him off Keeper to put him in the remove from game zone and then get him back with Ifrit Glass. There's a lot of ways to make sure you're still going to be able to play this guy more than, you know, the 3 times that you see here. So sometimes you'll get to play the same Volga, you know, 2, 3, 4 times depending on how you're shaping up that game. So 4/4 body, not that great otherwise, but he does have a cute combo in the deck. Then three Keepers of the Future. It's a 2-drop, 500/500, turns into an 8/8 with Swiftness. Again, it's another card that when it comes into play, it lets us put the top 2 cards into Remove from Game Zone. And when you have 10 cards, becoming an 8/8 body with Swiftness is super relevant because we can just surprise our opponent and get in that extra 800 damage when they might not be expecting it. Now for the absolute staple of the deck, 3 Flame King Shout, almost strictly just for Keeper of the Past. There's going to be some cute instances where if they have, an Arthur or they have something huge, you can play a Flame King Shout into a Volga, attack their guy, make them take 1200 plus damage, and that could be another way to essentially give the deck reach where they might not be expecting the damage. So turns out having a burn spell on a body can be relevant. And the card more often than not that you want to put in on Flame King Shout is for Keeper of the Past. 8/8 body comes into play. It basically says kill something. You can exile like Flame King Shout or something to get value out of it. It can also hit J Rulers, which is super relevant, and it has target attack and becomes an 11/11. Card I honestly have not tested for this, but we'll see how awesome or awful it is in the Duel Series video. 2 Ring of Fate. It's just an awkward card. Like the whole idea behind it is that if we have no cards left in our hand, it allows us to remove 5 cards, which again goes well with the Volga combo. And it lets us be able to draw more cards again. So it's one of those things where I can see this being relevant in late game where we need to draw it and we can have easily get 5 cards into our Remove from Game Zone. And then absolutely my favorite card in the deck overall is 5-drop Alley. 1,000 Swiftness is just great by itself, but then you can do something like play another Flame King Shout for a Keeper or a Volga, play that for free, and then swing for 2k damage on turn 5 if you have like a Keeper that's activated or something of that nature. So that is the Greed deck, whatever name I'm going to end up calling it, but torching the timeline with Volga while playing the normal Observer package to me just kind of seemed like a no-brainer. This way you get to burn him for either, at a minimum you're going to be doing 1,000 damage. So 1,000 damage burn spell. Yes, it takes 2 cards. It's probably going to be just fine, but we'll see how that matches up. So, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below if you had a similar deck, and if you had any changes that you would make to it. Is Volga, been testing well for you? Let us know what you think. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next 6 Sages Gaming Deck Spotlight. Have a good one.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and leave us a comment with what you thought of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to 6 Sage Gaming and check out some of the deck spotlights, Duel Series, and Force of Community videos that are already on the channel. We also have a Facebook and a Twitter, so feel free to find us there. Lastly, if you have a deck that you would like featured in a video, be sure to drop us a comment below. Until next time, take it easy.